Hi everyone, my name is Dan Reichert. I work here at this website called GiantBomb.com. Around this time of year, every year, we talk about all the games that came out in the year and the details, the stories, things like that. And when we talk about the stories, I kind of realized that even though I played pretty much all the big games this year, I don't think I grasped all of the story details of all of them. So I want to list 5 games whose stories I didn't really understand. Now these are 5 games. I beat all of these games, and I'm not skipping cutscenes. I'm not looking at my phone during cutscenes. I am locked in. I watched all of these games, listened to all the dialogue, and I am going to try from memory. I did not look anything up. I'm going to try to tell you what the stories of these 5 games are. Control. All right, Control is a story about, okay, it's the oldest house. It is a government type building that is spooky and you don't really see it unless you're looking for it. And it starts with you're playing as a lady named Jessie Faden. And I don't know if she worked there before or if she just wandered in, but early on you go and you find out that the director of the oldest house killed himself and you take over. You don't know why, but everyone's suddenly acting like you took over and you're the director. And then there's this big crazy thing called the Hiss. And the Hiss is the bad guys in the game. They float around, they're like weird demons. And I think they got unleashed because your brother and you grew up in the Southwest, and I think you were playing around a dump and found a slide projector and touched it. And it was like a crazy magic slide projector. And it unleashed the Hiss. And then at the end, everything gets really weird. And it turns out you have like a voice in your head that's like a robot, or it's like a spirit that's inside of a sphere thing that you have to kind of fight and unplug. And when you unplug it, it like breaks time. And then you have a normal job, but then things get spooky again. And I don't remember if your brother dies or not, but I think you're still the director at the end. Devil May Cry 5. All right, you play as 3 characters here. You got Dante, the classic hero of the franchise. You got Nero, the weird kid with the weird arm from 4. And then you got V, a guy who sucks and can't actually directly fight. He just reads poetry and throws spirit hawks and panthers at people. So, remember Virgil? Virgil was your evil brother from 3, who was a really cool character. It turns out he's now like a tree man that sits in a throne. I think it's inside of a big evil tree. And you have flashbacks to your childhood. And I think you hid in a closet while demons were attacking. And I think you were safe. Your mom hid you, Dante, in a closet. And Virgil was left out in the elements and got like corrupted by demons or something. And so that explains why he has this long-standing grudge against Dante. And you kill him at the end of 3. I don't know why he's back in this one or if they try to explain it, but he's a tree man. But eventually I think he goes back to Virgil form. And V, I forget what I think Jason said that V is like your dad, but he looks like Adam Driver and he's the poetry guy. But the main thing in the story is something about a giant tree, and it's weird looking, and most of the back half of the game takes place there, and it's a lot of samey environments. And I think you go do time travel or have like a fight in a memory against Virgil, and you have to grab an evil apple to make him go back to his human form. And then you fight the human form and probably kill your brother again, but he'll probably come back again since he already did that once. Bloodstained. Bloodstained, you play as a lady, I think her name is Miriam, and it's not really the Dracula story from Castlevania, even though the game is kind of supposed to be a Castlevania type thing. But you're fighting, like, this guy named Jebel seems to be the bad guy. I think most of these characters were in that cool 8-bit one they did. And, okay, so there's the Solid Snake guy, Zangetsu, and I think he's kind of a tweener. He's not really babyface or heel, you don't really know what his deal is. But he's got a magic sword that can cut the moon, and you, Miriam, take on all these shards, and it corrupts you or something. I think it makes you evil, or makes your skin more like stained glass as you go through. But then the lady that runs the shop winds up being like a big character or something. There's the Moon Lady. She's evil, and I think maybe she corrupted Jebel. So maybe Jebel wasn't a bad guy. And then there's the old guy who goes back and forth from being a bad guy to a good guy a million times, and I don't know why he's important. He's magic. He throws magic at you. I know that much. I can't remember if you kill Zangetsu, but at the end, I think they summon a big evil, more evil thing, and you kill it, and I think the castle gets reverted, and evil is swept from the land. Gears 5. All right. Gears has generally been about the Locust being the bad guys. They came in from space and burrowed in the ground, and they love emulsion. Emulsion's like an oil thing. I don't know if this is set on Earth, but it might be the future, and emulsion is like a big currency, and it's very important. But anyway, the Locusts were run by a queen that you fight at the end of 3, but then there's new characters that come in 4, and it turns out that Kate, one of the main new characters, is the daughter of the bug lady, or the granddaughter, because there's a mom that also turned into a bug lady at some point. And then in 5, Marcus is old. I think JD's kind of a dick at this point, and you're mostly playing as Kate, and she is corrupted by this thing called the matriarch, because I think she's got some like bug DNA in her, and when you kill the matriarch, I think the control of the Locust are gone from Kate. But I can't remember. You have to bomb the ice at some point. Oh, to get down to the matriarch. And then it turns out the Locusts are controlling like these big tremors things. And the tremors are destroying cities and things like that. And so you kill them. God, I know I'm forgetting something here. General Ram's dead. He died in the first one. I can't remember the Locusts. They had bad cousins, the Lambent, and then there were robot guys too. And then there's a lady that like is the president, and she seems like an asshole in 4, but I think she might be a good guy now. So it might be all the humans are at war with all of the bugs, and maybe at the end of 5, all the bugs are dead, but they always come back in the next one. I can't really remember what happens at the end of Gears 5. Mortal Kombat 11. Now, the Mortal Kombat lore is probably my second favorite lore in all the video games. That said, I could not follow this game. Or really, I think I followed 9. I think 10 and 11 I don't really understand at all, but I'll try. 11, so everyone's in the military now, and you're either in the military or you're a zombie. Shao Kahn, I think, is still in charge after the events of 10 or X. Or was the green guy? There's the green guy. Oh, Kotal Kahn. He might be in charge with Melina. But the bad guys turned a lot of the good guys into zombies, and the military folks are trying to kill Shinnok, because I think his crazy amulet is the thing that turned people into zombies. And so they behead Shinnok and put his head in a door, which creates a time rift that blows up a castle that falls on current-day Sonya Blade. So she dies, but then the time rift brings all of the like Mortal Kombat 2 era combatants to the present. So you've got current day Cassie Cage and Jax's daughter, and they're meeting like the younger versions of their parents who were like cooler and happier, because like everyone in the current day is miserable. Like it seems like Jax and Johnny Cage are sad and Sonya's dead, but like this is all these like cool 90s versions coming back, and it's like cocky Johnny Cage and everything. So there's a big time war going on. So there's the bad people that are on this time ladies. So the time lady, I think Chronica is her name, and she's the one that wants to be the ruler of the world. And so since she can control time, she's trying to manipulate time to get people on her side. I can't remember if the zombies are on her side or if they're on like Shao Kahn's side or something. But she's trying to kill everyone with time, and then all of the good guy time guys are trying to turn the zombies into normal guys. I think they're trying to take over the robot facility to turn the robots into good guys, and so they lead a charge on the time lady's time headquarters. And she explains that like, oh, in all these timelines, it all goes to the same thing. And you see Liu Kang and Raiden fighting a million different ways. And I think she's trying to say like, oh, fate is always predetermined and you can't change time. But then I think when you're fighting her, you break an hourglass and you take her hat off. And I think her hat was magic. And I think that breaks her time ability. And so I think you like chop her up, which causes everything to revert back to the beginning of time. And you're on a rock. You're Liu Kang and you're a magic fire god now. I think you and Raiden merged, and so you like combined your fire and lightning powers, but you look like Liu Kang. Oh, but then Raiden's just a dude at the beginning of time on a rock, and so I think it's like Liu Kang and Katana get to start time over again. I think they're just God. I think it's the Big Bang, but Liu Kang and Katana are God, and they get to remake the world. I don't know if any of those were actually spoilers. I think I got the broad strokes of a lot of these games right, but I hope you all learned something. I certainly learned something while playing these great games here in 2019.